Hari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari. Yashodanandana Prajajanarandana Yashodanandana Prajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanatha Harim Yamunatira Vanatha Harim Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari. Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanatha Harim Yamunatira Vanatha Harim Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradha Hari. Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanatha Harim Yamunatira Vanatha Harim Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Sham Sundaradha Sham Sundarade. Jaya Radhe Sham Radhe Sham Radhe Sham Jaya Radhe Sham. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vishupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacchaya Sota Sata Shishavachila. ऐसे भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्रजगच्चाय आशोता शत शिष्यवत्सल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की सिरूप श्री सनातन भक्त रघुनाथी जीव गोपाल भट्ट दस रघुनाचार्य गोस्वामी प्रभु की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवजरी गौर भक्त वृंद की Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopa Gopi Govinacham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki, Sri Mathura Dham ki, Sri Mayapur Dham ki, Sri Jagannathpuri Dham ki, Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi ki, Ganga Yamuna Devi ki, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki, Sri Sri Gaunitai ki, Sri Sri Krishna Balaram ki, Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar ki, Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, 3rd chapter, text number 18. Naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścid artha-vyapāśrayaḥ naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścit artha-vyapāśrayaḥ naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścit artha-vyapāśrayaḥ naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścid artha-vyapāśrayaḥ naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścid artha-vyapāśrayaḥ naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścid artha-vyapāśrayaḥ. Mataji's? Naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛteneha kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu never, eva, certainly, tasya, his, kṛtena, by discharge of duty, artha, purpose, nor, akṛtena, without discharge of duty, iha, in this world, kaścana, whatever, never, cha, and, asya, of him, sarva-bhūteṣu, among all living beings, kaścit, any, artha, purpose, vyapāśrayaḥ, taking shelter of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Purport. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and except activities in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Kṛṣṇa consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in following verses. A Kṛṣṇa conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is sufficient and a discharge of his obligation. Om jnana timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chaksuranamritam yanam tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudhabadagamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakandvidamscha. He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Ganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshari Prishavano Sote Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare. Naiva tasya kṛtenārtho nākṛtena kaścana tasya sarva-bhūteṣu kaścid artha-vyapāśrayaḥ. Self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. So here in this chapter, Kṛṣṇa is speaking to Arjuna about karma yoga. So yoga means to link with the Supreme Lord, to connect, to come to the spiritual platform. So even on deity worship, so those who are worshipping the deities, they will understand this principle of yoga in regards to worshipping the deities. Panchanga Puja, different names for deity worship. One is Panchanga Puja. So there it is explained. So first of all, there has to be preliminary activities by which we can become qualified to worship the Lord, and one has to prepare everything nicely, whatever one will use in the service of the Lord. Just like in the morning, early morning, we have to get up and try to immediately remember Guru Gauranga Kṛṣṇa. Then we take a bath, put on fresh clothes, then we go to the temple. That is known as Abhigaman, preparing to go to the temple to worship the Lord. Then one is preparing the bhoga plate, the artik plate, and then comes yoga. Yoga, there in deity worship, then it means to perform achman for purification, to chant some mantras for purification, so that one may come on the spiritual platform and understand, I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul, and my real relationship is with Kṛṣṇa. And if one is situated on this platform, then one is eligible to worship the Lord, engage in the service of the Lord, which is known as ijya or vigraha seva, paricharya, archanam and so on, nitya seva. And then also it is explained svadhyay. One has to study the scriptures. Adhyayan has to do. Self-study has to be done. One has to perform in spiritual activities, especially chanting holy names, which is the Yoga Dharma. And then one will have the proper consciousness and then one can worship the Lord. So in regards to karma yoga, so connecting to the Lord, and here karma means to perform prescribed duties according to the scriptures. With Kṛṣṇa in the center, for Krishna's pleasure, ultimately. But if one is not able to fully dedicate oneself to the service of the Lord, and if one has still so many material aspirations, desires to be fulfilled, then that is known as karma yoga. So that is explained here. That is better than just simply doing karma, just working in this world for one's own satisfaction. But in this world one has this body, so one has to work. But the purpose of human life is to actually realize our constitutional position as the eternal servant of Kṛṣṇa. And then, so according to Varnashram, one will engage in some activity and it should be for the pleasure of the Lord. But still, if there are some desires to be fulfilled, that is permitted. Because one cannot immediately, it is not expected that individual. So Kṛṣṇa is explaining therefore about different yoga and is explaining also to Arjuna, if one is engaged in these activities of this world, don't discourage that person, but let him do so and let him become purified. Let him understand that he should try to be at least acknowledging the Supreme Lord and doing something for the Supreme Lord. So then giving up the result, at least some percentage of one's result, some part of one's result of one's activities, if one can give that to the service of the Lord and to the devotees who are fully engaged in the service of the Lord. So that is karma yoga, and by this one becomes purified, one can advance. And then Kṛṣṇa is explaining jnana yoga, and then also astanga yoga or hatha yoga. But then ultimately is explaining about bhakti yoga, surrendering to him and doing everything for his pleasure. Here in these verses, it is hinted at the devotees who are successful in life. And Purport is explaining here in the Purport that a person who is fully Krishna conscious, a self-realized man, so is not obliged to perform any activity in this world, except activities in Krishna consciousness, and naturally he will do that because he is properly situated on the spiritual platform. And because by nature one has to act in this world. In the spiritual world it is natural to always serve Krishna. And being in this world, one should also understand that ultimately we have to always act for Krishna's pleasure. That is the constitutional position of the jiva, of the living entity. Jivera sopoi Krishnera nityadas. And so, here specifically in this verse, it is explained that a self-realized person has no purpose in fulfilling the discharge of his prescribed duty. So that refers to the duties of Varna ashram. So these are prescribed. If one is a Brahmana, one has to engage in Brahmanical activities. And if one is a kshatriya by nature, and then one is supposed to engage in these activities. Or Vaishya is doing business or taking care of the land, that should be done, and that is usually done. But is explained here, so that is, so he may do or he may not do. That is indicated here. He has no purpose to fulfill, at the same time he has no reason not to perform. The main thing is the devotee, the self-realized man, person or jiva, is fully dedicated to Kṛṣṇa on the spiritual platform and the loving exchange with Kṛṣṇa. And then, so in this way he is perfectly situated, and in this world, so he may do some activity or he may not do. And but usually he will do, because one has the body, and so the body should be used in Krishna seva. So therefore he will be engaged in Krishna conscious activities externally also. Because the body is there and should be used in Krishna seva. At the same time, if for some time he's feeling that, let me just withdraw and then just engage in my relationship with Krishna, so that is perfectly all right also. Just like it is explained, there are two kinds of devotees. And that is, one is bhajananandi, one who is doing bhajan, is satisfied in chanting Hare Krishna and in his relationship with Krishna, and is not so much interested in doing anything in this world. And there are many genuine persons, well, I mean, we should understand that they are there. Actually, in the holy places, especially like Vrindavan and Mayapur, Navadvip and Jagannath Puri, there are actually many devotees who are doing their bhajan, the worship of the Lord, and they don't have so much inclination to act in this material world externally. And that is also acceptable. And although we know that Prabhupada has mentioned, and the Acharyas also, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, the other category of devotee known as the Goshtianandi superior. Goshtianandi, so is the person who is highly advanced, who is also realized, at the same time is acting for the welfare of others, and is trying to distribute Krishna consciousness to others. So that is considered to be superior. So from one point of view, but ultimately from the spiritual point of view, there's not much difference. The main thing is that both of them, they are transcendently situated and they are engaged in the relationship with Krishna, and they're giving pleasure to Krishna. So the Bhajananandi is a realized soul, usually. And so is not so much concerned with the external activities. And so the Goshtianandi usually supposed to be realized also. So, but he's working in this world with his body more than the Bhajananandi. But from the ultimate point of view, they're both properly situated, so therefore there's hardly any difference. So sometimes you may see somebody is externally trying to distribute books or preaching, but his sadhana is not so good, and he may have some ulterior motives. He wants to be recognized as a great preacher or so. So fine, that is okay also, but it's not pure devotional service. Whereas somebody may be just chanting Hare Krishna, but he doesn't have the inclination he's not outgoing by nature, that he will then go and distribute books and try to preach all over the world. But it's just because of a simple disposition or nature, so he will just be in a holy place and chant the holy names. But he's doing that with purity. And then there's a loving exchange with Krishna. And then actually, by his power of his chanting, he may benefit others also. Like even the gopis in Braj. So the gopis, they are giving pleasure to Kṛṣṇa. And they're fully absorbed in that and giving pleasure to Kṛṣṇa. And they're not going out to distribute books. There's no need of that. It is not there. But so they are the most exalted actually of Krishna's devotees. Braje prasidam navanita choram gopangananam chadu kula choram aneka janmachid papa choram choragangan purusham namami. So Krishna, the most wonderful Supreme Lord, and so is famous in Braj as the greatest of all thieves. So in loving exchange, he's stealing butter and he's taking the gopis' cloth. At the same time, he's liberating his devotees by taking away their anarthas, unwanted things. So the gopis, Vandinanda Vraja Strinam Pada Renam Abhishnasha Yasam Hari Katot Kitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam. There is a verse from Uddhav, from the 10th canto, 47th chapter. He's a great devotee of Kṛṣṇa in Dwarka. His relationship is there. Most of the Dwarkavasis there, of course, internal relationship is there. So even it is manifest in this world, of course. And so in that relationship, so Uddhav, a similar age as Kṛṣṇa, and his complexion is very similar to Kṛṣṇa. And he is very intelligent. And he was actually the prime minister of Kṛṣṇa in Dwarka. And Kṛṣṇa used to go to take advice from him in his pastime in this world as the king or the emperor in Dwarka. But when Kṛṣṇa was in Mathura, so Uddhav came to see him also. And of course, pastimes of Kṛṣṇa are very, very deep. And of course, two kinds of pastimes, one in the spiritual world, eternal pastimes, and the pastimes in this world. So similarities are there, and usually in this world, the eternal pastimes will also manifest at a certain point. But then it is also mixed with the pastimes of this world, which are only in this world, like Kṛṣṇa is appearing in this world. And the spiritual world is always manifest, 15 years old, in Braj. At the same time, it's also in Dwarka. There eternally, there's Dwarkadesh. And of course there, appearing always like a young man of 25 years old. And he has... no, that is in Dwarka. In Vrindavan is like 15 or 16. But in Dwarka is like 25 years. And he has 16,108 wives. So, and he has sons and 10 sons and 1 daughter each. So at the same time he's there in Dwarka, in the spiritual world, and also in Braj and in Mathura also. But here in this material world, so Kṛṣṇa is appearing, and included in Kṛṣṇa is also in Yashodanandan is Vasudev Kṛṣṇa. So very wonderful pastimes are there. And so, but Uddhav saw, he was a pure devotee and very intelligent and completely dedicated to Kṛṣṇa. And so there is also transcendental pride there. So he had no material pride, but a little spiritual pride is there, which is okay. Kṛṣṇa is in the center and doing everything for Kṛṣṇa's pleasure. He was thinking, I'm so fortunate, I'm Kṛṣṇa's very good friend. And he was feeling also that Kṛṣṇa is my most beloved object, Pranana, the Lord of my life. And he was recognized also as Haridasyavarya, the best of the servants of Hari, of to Braj, to show him who are the most exalted of all devotees of him. These are the Brajavasis. And then he went to see Maria Yashoda and Nanda Baba, and he realized also that they are superior to him. And then he saw the gopis and he saw that they are even more superior than Nanda Baba and Maria Yashoda. And he's praying that Vande Nanda Vraja Strinam Pada Renoma Bhikshnasa. I offer my obeisances to the damsels of Braj, and I want to take the dust of their feet. And then I saying Yasaka Tat Kutomritam. So when they are speaking about Kṛṣṇa, that is purifying the three worlds, being in Braj. So they are glorifying Kṛṣṇa. They are not going out. They don't have to go out and distribute books and show their devotion. They are most exalted eternally. And so that is manifest also in this world, and that Kṛṣṇa is also actually showing others, and for the benefit of all, to show that the gopis, they are the most exalted. So similarly great devotees are there in our sampradaya also, like Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He was not going out, but he was doing his bhajan, and he's a pure devotee. And then also Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So that we should understand. The main thing is that we have to develop our love for Kṛṣṇa. And that is then recognized by Kṛṣṇa and by the other pure devotees also. But just to give a comparison, because we are in this world and we have this body, so we should use it in Krishna Seva and sarva-bhūteṣu as a human being, of course as a devotee human being, but in general for human being, so he should always be engaged in the service of the Lord, but then also he should try to help others. Sarva-bhūteṣu. So he should be attached to act for the welfare of others, for the pleasure of the Lord, but then also for the welfare of others. And therefore also Prabhupada explained, and even Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, that we should try to give Krishna consciousness to others by giving prasadam, giving the holy names, distributing books, or by speaking to others about Krishna, Krishna Katha. So that is there. But otherwise, externally speaking, they may engage according to Vana Ashram, they may do the prescribed duties, or sometimes they may do a little less, and they are more engaged in the actual service of the Lord. So we should understand this particular verse in this way. And then also, important point here, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. That is significant also. That the devotee is simply depending on Kṛṣṇa and is acting always for Krishna's pleasure. And he doesn't take shelter of anybody else than Kṛṣṇa, not the demigods, or nor any person of this world. Of course, in the beginning stage of spiritual life, then one has to take shelter of the representative of Kṛṣṇa, because one is not Krishna conscious yet. One has not realized one's Swarup, one's love for Kṛṣṇa, one's relation with Kṛṣṇa. In the beginning, it is not manifest, it is not revealed. And therefore we have to have the association of those who are more advanced, the spiritual master, the advanced devotee, who is the representative of Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa in the 4th chapter he has explained also, tad vidi paripatena paya prashna sevaya. Upadekshati de gyanam gyaninas tattva darshanaha. You go to a tattva darshanaha, to a person who is realized, who has realized tattva, param tattva Kṛṣṇa, darshana, who has darshan of Krishna, who can see Krishna directly, who is established in his relationship with Krishna, go to such a person. Krishna Kripa Sri Murti, the pure devotee is the manifestation, or is the embodiment of Krishna's mercy. We should go to such person. And then one can advance, and then one can realize one's relationship with Krishna. And then one can fully depend on Krishna. In the beginning stage, it is not possible to be fully surrendered. We should try. And we should try to depend on Guru, Gauranga, Krishna. So first actually the spiritual master has to be there, and then like Srila Prabhupada, without Prabhupada's mercy, then how we could advance. We would not know about Krishna, about Mahaprabhu. So if Mahaprabhu would not have come, we could not be chanting the holy names, we would not have met Prabhupada. So, Brahmanda Pramite Kone Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadipai Bhakti Lata Beach. The conditioned soul is wandering in this Brahman, in this universe, going from one species of life to another, up higher planetary systems, or going down to hell. But by good fortune, one comes in contact with the representative of the Lord, the spiritual master, and then by the spiritual master's mercy, one can realize one's relationship with Krishna. So one who is Prabhupada is writing, a Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. So if one is Krishna conscious, means he is conscious of Krishna all the time. Then he can depend on Krishna. But before that, one has to take shelter of the representative of Krishna, who is Krishna conscious, a pure devotee of the Lord. Yasya prasada bhagavad prasadam, yasya prasadam nagadikodopi, dayam stavam stasa yasyasta sandhyam vande guru sri charanāravindam. So we take shelter of the spiritual master. So by his mercy one can attain Krishna. And if one is not able to satisfy the representative of Krishna, there is no question of being able to satisfy Krishna. But then if one is taking shelter of the spiritual master, but then by his mercy one will be able to take shelter of Krishna, one will become Krishna conscious, then one can depend on Krishna fully. Otherwise it is not possible. And so a devotee is always engaged in activities for the pleasure of the Lord. So internal activities are there and external. That is also explained by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Seva sadaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tad bhavalipsana kaya brajalokana sarataha. So two kinds of activities. One is as sadaka, as practicing devotee. And then one is siddha. So that is, if one is realized, in purified consciousness, one will realize that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, and that the activities are there, practically on the liberated state. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also told Raghunath Das Goswami, Amanina manana Krishna nama sadalabe, Braja Radha Krishna seva manase karibe. So you chant always the holy names and be always humble. Don't expect any honor, but give honor to others. And then within your mind you worship Radha and Krishna. So as a devotee, so we have two kinds of activities. One is externally as a sadhaka, practicing devotee, and one is internally understanding that we are spirit soul, and then engage in the relationship with Krishna internally. So of course it will take some time to come to that platform and to be fixed on that platform, but we have to endeavor. Just like Krishna's pastimes, so there are Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world, always going on. And the Krishna's pastimes are in this world. So they are there to purify the conditioned soul, so therefore we hear the pastimes of the Lord in this world. And then after, if one is more purified, then one can understand and hear and be absorbed in the pastimes of Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. And by doing so, then one can become qualified to enter the pastimes of Krishna in Golok. So, and specifically, of course, Rupa Goswami has mentioned that we should try to be in Braj, Brajanusarata, and follow those who are having that love, just like the Brijbasis in Braj. Krishna smaram janam tasya nija prishtam samahitam tatta kata rachastasya kuryad vazam braja sada. We should always live in Braj. And always hearing about the pastimes of Krishna with his associates in Braj. And so if we can live physically in Braj, that is helpful. But even more important than that, to be absorbed in consciousness in Braj and in remembrance of Krishna and his associates in Braj. So, but also sadhaka, so we perform devotional service with the goal, that is the definition of sadhana bhakti according to Nectar of Devotion. So that which leads, so we have to know what is the goal. And then we can do properly sadhana bhakti. And so the goal is, what is the goal? What is your goal?
Krishna Prem.
Krishna Prem. Which Krishna Prem? So you want to go to Dwarka or to Golok? Golok. We want to go to Golok. That is the goal. Mahaprabhu came to establish the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy names. But specifically then, he was giving Braja Bhakti. And specifically also Unad Ujjvala Ras. Unad Ujjval Ras. Different relationships are there with Krishna as friends, parental affection and conjugal relationships. So Unad, Ujjval. Ujjval means the most bright and shiny, ras, mellow relationship. Unad, the highest. So that is the mood of the gopis. That is the love of the gopis. So specifically he came to give this. And therefore Prabhupada, before every lecture, in the morning Srimad Bhagavatam, and in the evening Bhagavad Gita, he was chanting Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. So discussing the Bhagavad Gita, because that we have to do as practicing devotees so we can advance. But what is the goal? Braj Bhakti. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Trying to remember Radha and Madhav in the kunjas of Braj at night time. Or at noon time there in Radha Kund, Radha and Krishna. So the kunjas are there also, around Radha Kund and Shama Kund. So around Radha Kund the kunjas of the Sakhis are there, and around Shama Kund the kunjas of the Sakhas are there, but they also dedicated the Ashtasakhas, friends of Krishna, a little younger than Krishna. They are there just to also help in the pastimes of Radha Krishna. And they gave their kunjas to the Ashtasakhis to take care of, so that the divine couple, they can perform pastimes there. So, Kunja Bihari, Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, of course, Krishna is in the center, Prananath for everyone. So he's roaming in the different kunjas, at Radha Kund, at Shama Kund, or in night time in different forests in Braj. Gopijana Vallabha. So is the dear most object for the Gopijan. So Gopijan may be the gopis of Krishna's age, headed by Srimati Radharani and her friends, and of course all the gopis are there, Vipaksha or Surit or Tatastha, friendly towards Radharani and neutral, and those rival gopis headed by Chandravali. But then also the elderly gopis, they are also gopijan. But they are elder and they are vatsalya ras. So Kṛṣṇa is the dearmost object of all the ladies of Braj. But not only the ladies, but the men also, even the animals. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanyas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramyaka Chetapasana Vrajavaravarigana Yakalpitaha. So that is a verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explaining what is Mahaprabhu's opinion. That Aradhya Bhagavan, the worshipable Lord, that is Kṛṣṇa in Braj, the son of Nanda Baba. And similarly as worshipable is Vrindavan Dham, Braj. And then the upasana, the worship of the Brajavadhu, the damsels of Braj, that is most exalted. So specifically, so Mahaprabhu, he pointed it out also. And Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. And in this world, that is only in this world, Kṛṣṇa is lifting Govardhan hill. So some activities of this world are there, but they are not there in the spiritual world. Like lifting up Govardhan hill with the little finger of the left hand. That is only in this world. There is no need in Golok. Govardhan is there, but there is no demon there. And Indra is also not there. He cannot do anything there. He has nothing to say. Indra. So the sun is there, the moon is there in the spiritual world, and they are assisting the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa. And the 6 seasons are there, they are permanently there. The 6 seasons. Like here, first we have now, the rainy season came fortunately a little early this year. Now we are all happy. And then there's the Sharad Ritu, pre-monsoon, the autumn, then autumn, winter, spring, one season after the other basically. But in the spiritual world, the 6 seasons are there. And they're always there ready to serve Kṛṣṇa as he desires. So everyone is there to serve Kṛṣṇa in the spiritual world. And in this world also, when Kṛṣṇa is present, everything is basically also going on, just like in the spiritual world. At the same time, so in this world, additional extra pastimes are there, which is giving Kṛṣṇa also some pleasure. So like Govardhan is there in the spiritual world, but there is no need to lift up Giriraj. But in this world it was necessary just to cut down the false pride of Indra. And then the wonderful pastime is there. And then actually, in this world, so because the gopis, they want to be always a Kṛṣṇa, they want to, and the gopas also, but Kṛṣṇa is going to the pasturing grounds, then Maria Yashoda, the gopis are feeling some separation. But then, after some time, Kṛṣṇa says, I have to go somewhere to his friends, and he goes to Radhakund, and the gopis, they can meet him again. And then they also feel some separation. Kṛṣṇa said, he's just coming back, but he's already quite some time he's not back. Where is he? And then Kṛṣṇa is coming eventually back, and then they're going home, and Maria Yashoda again sees Kṛṣṇa. So that is there. So some meeting is there, then some separation, which is there to augment the loving sentiments of all the inhabitants of Braj. So by Kṛṣṇa's arrangement. So it is there. But then when he lifted Giriraj Govardhan, for 7 days and 7 nights, Kṛṣṇa was there lifting up the hill, and all the Brijabasis at the same time they could see Kṛṣṇa constantly, all the time. Of course, they were tired a little bit also, and they had to take some rest at night time. A little bit they had to sleep, but Kṛṣṇa was not sleeping 7 days and 7 nights. And the gopis also hardly sleeping. The friends and the elderly gopis, they're also sleeping a little more, but the gopis, the most beloved of Kṛṣṇa, they are hardly sleeping, and they don't need to sleep much by Kṛṣṇa's arrangement, because Kṛṣṇa wants to be with them and they want to be with Kṛṣṇa. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. So is the darling son of Maria Yashoda, and is the object of love of all the Brijbasis. Even the cows and the calves, they have so much love for Kṛṣṇa. The cows, they have their own, the cows, they have their calves. And it is natural, even the animals, they love their little, even the dogs, they like the puppies. But of course in the material world, material love is there, but in the spiritual world, spiritual love is there, and the cows, they have so much love for Kṛṣṇa, more so than their own calves. So everyone is loving Kṛṣṇa. Actually, even in the spiritual world is mentioned there are two dogs. Kṛṣṇa has two dogs, known as Vyagra and Brahmaraka. And of course parrots are there, and they all have so much love. Yamuna Tira Vanachari, and then Kṛṣṇa is there at the bank of the Jamuna, and Jamuna has also so much love for Kṛṣṇa, and Kṛṣṇa is reciprocating and is taking bath there every day in the Jamuna with the gopis, all the gopas, and the cows and the calves. So Prabhupada chanted Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari before every lecture, because that is the goal. The goal is not to go to Dwarka or to Matra or to Vaikuntha, but the goal is to go to Golok. So that we should always remember. Of course also we want to join Mahaprabhu and his pastimes, that is in Shvetadvip, Navadvip. So therefore we also hear about Mahaprabhu, and usually actually we should remember Mahaprabhu and pray to him and hear about his pastimes, and then by his mercy we become eligible to join the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa and Braj. Hare Krishna. 7 o'clock we stop here. Any question? Hare Krishna. Time for prasad. Okay, it's 7 o'clock.